Indeed, it seems she's not always the super serious, intense athlete that she often appears as. Serena's clearly got a bit of a goofy side to her, and we'll be happy to show you in today's video. But of course, what about the rather big elephant in the room currently surrounding Serena? We'll discuss this too. And what of her sister Venus? Rest assured, we'll give you all the details you need to know about by the end of this video, so be sure to stick around. Let's get going. Hold on, didn't Serena Williams just announce her retirement? Yes she has. And as much as we want to let you know about that prank, it would definitely feel like we're burying the lead to not discuss this first. After a truly impeccable 27-year career, where she amassed nearly 100 titles between both singles and doubles tennis, Serena Williams announced in an essay posted to Vogue that she is in fact done with the sport and will be walking away from it officially a month from now. And unfortunately, she's not exactly in the highest spirits about it. She begins her word at Vogue by talking about her daughter Olympia, who turns 5 this month. Serena recounts hearing her using an educational app where a little robot voice asked her what she wanted to be when she grew up. The child's answer? To be a big sister. Serena goes on to say that she's overheard this desire many times, with Olympia even praying to Jehovah to get her a little sister. The tennis icon noted that as the youngest of 5 sisters herself, she found her elder siblings to be her heroes, and so she is taking this idea very seriously. And while she enjoyed her pregnancy, in her own words, she is 41 now and something had to give. Not only does the process of pregnancy cause one to take several months off in itself, as occurred the first time for Serena, it takes a physical toll that can last for quite a while afterwards as well. When it comes to women in sports, many could just retire straight away upon becoming pregnant, and for those who do come back, it can take a long time. At this stage of her life, it seems that it's either tennis or her family. She could either continue playing the sport that made her famous, and a sport she made more famous in return, or continuing to grow her family, and none can really blame her for choosing the latter. But she does so with a heavy heart, and spoke at length about how she really doesn't want to stop playing. She has a somber remark about how she'd be on a Tom Brady right now if she were a man. Obviously, she'd rather not have to make the choice between the two at all, but concludes that you just can't have it all in life. She closed the essay by saying she'd miss that side of her, the girl that played tennis, and she'd miss us all as well. But hadn't she just only returned to tennis before this? Indeed, as we discussed in a previous video about the tape she had on her face at Wimbledon, which you should check out if you haven't yet by the way, she's only this past summer made a big return after a severe leg injury suffered at Wimbledon last year kept her out of action for nearly 12 full months. She made a return where she faced off with Harmony Tan in the first round of the prestigious tournament, and while she didn't win, she showed that she still has a ton of energy left in her as the two of them squared off for over 3 hours. Goodness, only in tennis can you say something like that, folks. Actual marathons could never be so much of a marathon. Afterwards, she made clear her intentions to head to the US Open, which will be taking place in just a few weeks' time as of the writing of this video, and those plans are still on. Her retirement is not effective immediately. Well, actually, she made mention of the fact that she doesn't actually like the word retirement and would rather refer to it as her evolving from the sport of tennis. So, sure, her evolution from the sport of tennis is not effective immediately, but will instead be taking place after the US Open. This is both her final major and the last tournament of her storied career. Margaret Court has the record for the most Grand Slam wins recorded in a year, with 24. Serena is only just behind her with 23. One more and she'll tie, and she has one more chance. True, she hasn't been on that level in recent years. Her last win was the 2017 Australian Open, which she also spoke of in her her evolution essay, in which she pointed out that many are unaware she was already 2 months pregnant at the time. She hasn't reached the mountaintop again since, but the story here is just too great to ignore. The reception she's bound to get from that audience is going to be amazing, and we have no doubt that they'll be doing everything in their power to push her to one last big W. So anyway, about this prank. Right, the title of the video. Well, ahead of making her big headlines for her retirement, she was also making headlines, but for a more lighthearted affair. While she was not taking part in the WTA 250 Citi Open in Washington, D.C., her sister Venus was. Making her own return from injury, this was Venus's first tournament in almost a year herself, and of course Serena was there to support her. Even though Venus would go on to lose to Canada's Rebecca Marino 4-6, 6-1, 6-4 in the first round, the fans at the show got quite a treat when they saw the legendary Williams sisters practicing together that Sunday. Following this little practice session, Serena opted to go see the sights around town alongside Mark Ein, the chairman of the event. And of course, as you do, the tennis icon would take to social media to share pictures and clips of her time in the town alongside Ein. She was even spotted riding a kick scooter in the streets as the two of them visited the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. Folks, I know you're a bunch of cool cats out there, but I fear none of us will ever be quite as cool as Serena Williams riding a kick scooter, alas. When they arrived at the Rock Creek Park Tennis Center, Serena then saw fit to have a little bit of fun, partake in a tiny bit of mischief, and pull a prank on the chairman. You see, see, as is customary for esteemed guests, the parking lot at this establishment includes an allotted space for Mark Ein, marked with a board with his name on it. But of course, she's the real big name on the premises here, so she decided to tape a handwritten note over Ein's name that instead read, "Parking for Serena Williams." She noted in the caption that only those closest to her know about this little devilish side of her, and Ein had his own comments on a video showing what she'd done, writing, "You know how sometimes your friends come to town and they kind of make themselves a little too much at home? Well, this is taking it to a whole new level. Wow. Listen, man, this is just how things work. Serena's a conqueror. That was your parking space, but I think we can all agree it's hers now. And if you'd like it back, I think it's only fair that you challenge her for it on the court. Who's with me? What about Venus? Is she still going to be active going forward?" Well, considering Serena had stayed very quiet about this until just before the day was arriving, it seems bold to say that her older sister, albeit only by a year, will be sticking around much longer. However, there has been no indication that she'll be retiring anytime soon, and it's worth noting that she does not have any children, aside from, of course, her beloved dog Harold Reginald Williams, which absolutely counts. She's also still single, so that means that the situation with her is quite a bit different. Ultimately, only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, she will be playing in the immediate future, as at the time of writing, she's still alive in the Cincinnati Masters tournament. Wow, I'm mentioning the time of writing a lot this go-around, huh? How much saying that last one dates this video depends entirely on how well she does from here on out, so suffice to say we're rooting for her. And that is all the time we have for today. Are you stunned to hear the news of Serena's prank on the Citi Open chairman, and also about her retirement? And that's a bit of a stunner too, isn't it? What are your thoughts on the situation surrounding her hanging up the racket? Are there any other big stories going on in the tennis world that you'd like to see us cover going forward? Be sure to let us know down in the comments below. And until next time, thanks for watching.